Before we begin this morning prayer, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. God, I don't know what today will hold, but even before I take my first real step into it, I already feel that tightness, that awareness, that something ahead is heavy. Maybe it's a conversation I don't want to have. Maybe it's the quiet weight of responsibilities I can't avoid. Maybe it's simply the fact that I'm waking up tired, not just physically, but emotionally. I didn't get the kind of rest I hoped for. My mind didn't quiet down the way I wanted it to. And now, here I am, standing on the edge of the day, with a heart that's not fully ready, yet still trying to show up. So I come to you, before the rush, before the noise, before I scroll or speak or plan. I come here to be grounded again, to remember I'm not alone, even in the unseen places, to remember that every step I take today doesn't have to be taken in my own strength, that you're not waiting for me at the finish line. You're here with me, in this breath, in this next moment, in all the little steps that no one sees but you. God, be with me in every step. When I walk into a room where I feel unsure of myself, be with me. When I sit at my desk and try to focus through distraction and doubt, be with me. When I feel overwhelmed and the day feels like too much too soon, be with me. When I smile and nod and say, I'm fine, but inside I'm fraying, be with me. I don't need you to fix everything before the day begins. I just need to know I won't face any of it alone, that I don't have to carry invisible pressure by myself, that I can exhale because your presence is not earned by performance, that I can walk gently because I'm not walking without help. There's something sacred about knowing you're in the mundane, in the moments no one claps for, in the quiet decisions, in the small acts of courage. So remind me that my steps are not too small to matter, that my day isn't too ordinary to be holy, that I don't have to be impressive to be deeply loved, just present, just honest, just here. If I stumble, stay with me. If I doubt myself, speak peace over me. If I forget my worth, remind me in the way only you can, gently, without shame, with grace so steady it anchors me, with love so constant it quiets every lie. Because some days the hardest part isn't doing the hard thing, it's believing I'm not alone in it, believing I'm supported even when no one else seems to see how hard I'm trying, believing that you see every effort, every tear I hold back, every moment I choose grace over reaction. And even when I don't choose perfectly, when I write too quickly, or carry stress too tightly, or forget to pause, you don't walk away, you stay. You walk beside me, not with judgment, but with gentleness. And I need that gentleness today. Need the reminder that I'm not expected to do this alone, that asking for help isn't weakness, that leaning on you is strength in its truest form. So walk with me into this day, God, into every hallway and meeting and message, into every task and errand and breath. Be my steadiness when the day feels chaotic. Be my softness when the world feels sharp. Be my light when things feel heavy. Be my friend when I feel unsafe and when I forget to reach for you. Remind me that you're still here, that I don't have to beg for presence, that I'm not too distracted to be loved, that even in my mess, I am worthy of grace. Because sometimes the steps I need to take aren't visible to anyone else. Sometimes it's the step of getting out of bed when I wanted to stay under the covers, the step of sending the email I've been dreading, the step of choosing kindness when I feel misunderstood, the step of making space for myself when I'm used to pouring out for everyone else. These steps matter to you, even the shaky ones, even the invisible ones. God, the day has started, but I'm still trying to catch up with myself. I'm here physically, moving through the motions, maybe even smiling and nodding and checking things off the list, but inside, I'm still searching for a steady rhythm. I don't want to go through this day on autopilot. I don't want to just survive it and call it progress. I want to feel connected. I want to move through this day with awareness, not anxiety, with meaning, not just momentum. But to do that, I need you. I need your presence to be more than a vague idea. I need it to wrap around me, to breathe peace into my bones, to be the invisible strength holding me steady when I feel like I'm being pulled in too many directions. I need to know that you're not watching from a distance. I need to know you're right here in the tension, in the tiredness, in the in-between spaces where I'm trying to stay faithful and grounded and hopeful all at once. I know I've said I trust you. I've prayed those words before. But trusting you in theory is so different than trusting you in the middle of the stress, in the moment when things don't go as planned, in the middle of a schedule that feels too full, a heart that feels stretched too thin, and expectations I'm trying to meet even when I don't believe in them anymore. So help me trust you here, in this moment, not with the big sweeping gesture, but with the next step, the next breath, the next yes to peace. When chaos wants to lead, I don't need to know how the entire day will unfold. I just need to know that I'm not taking these next few hours alone. I just need to remember that you're not looking for perfection in my performance. You're looking for honesty in my heart. And honestly, I'm tired. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to be strong when I really want to collapse. I'm showing up when I'd rather disappear. I'm caring for others while wondering if anyone sees what I carry. And in that honesty, I feel your closeness. Not because everything suddenly gets easier, not because all the problems vanish, but because I stop pretending I'm fine and start letting you in. That's when the peace comes in, the kind that doesn't always change my circumstances, but always changes me, the kind that doesn't need to be loud to be real, the kind that meets me right where I am and reminds me I am seen, I am loved, I am supported, I am never alone. That reminder becomes my anchor, my reset, my strength. So I go back to that truth again and again, especially when the noise tries to drown it out. When the emails stack up, when the emails stack up, when the emails stack up, when the demands keep coming, when someone says something that stings, when I second guess my worth because I feel like I'm falling behind. In all those moments, remind me that my value is not on the line today. My soul is not up for debate. My softness is not weakness. My quiet steps are not unnoticed. Every time I choose to pause instead of panic, I win. Every time I choose kindness instead of sarcasm, I grow. Every time I choose to rest instead of push past my limit, I heal. And you see all of that. You celebrate the victories no one else sees. You walk with me into rooms where I feel small. You stay with me when I feel invisible. You whisper truth when lies get loud. And you never roll your eyes at my fear or frustration. Instead, you meet me there. You sit with me in the middle of the uncertainty. You help me breathe again when I didn't realize I was holding it. You remind me that I'm not doing life wrong just because it feels hard right now. You remind me that strength is still strength, even when it looks like simply getting through the day. So today, help me celebrate the small. Help me honor my limits. Help me receive support. Help me walk through this day with less shame and more softness. Because the world moves fast, but you move with care. And I want to live in that rhythm. God, the day is unfolding, and I can feel myself changing as I move through it. Not in big dramatic ways, but in tiny shifts. My breath is slower. My thoughts are a little quieter. My posture isn't so tense. And while I still carry things, I'm still thinking, still processing, still navigating. I can feel you walking with me in all of it. And that's changing how I experience this day. It's not that the tasks are easier or the responsibilities less pressing, but I don't feel alone in them anymore. I don't feel like I have to carry everything in my own strength. I don't feel like I have to prove anything. I'm beginning to trust that walking gently is still moving forward. That being kind to myself doesn't mean I'm giving up. That letting go of control doesn't mean losing purpose. And that presence, real presence, is the greatest gift I can bring into this day. I didn't always think like this. I used to believe that the only way to feel okay was to stay ahead, stay productive, stay impressive. But all that did was make me tired. It made me anxious. It made me numb. And honestly, it made me distant, not just from others, but from myself. Because when you're always trying to be something more, you forget how to be what you already are. You forget how to rest in your own skin. You forget how to hear the still, small voice that says, you're already loved. But I'm remembering again, and every time I pause to pray, to breathe, to listen, I feel that truth returning, not as a concept, but as an anchor, not as an idea, but as a presence, not as a motivational quote, but as the very heartbeat of this moment. So let me keep choosing that. Let me keep turning back to you throughout the day. Let me keep saying yes to the quiet way. Because the world may not applaud stillness, but I know you meet me there. And in that stillness, I remember what matters. I remember that I'm more than my output. I'm more than my image. I'm more than my plans. I am a soul deep, feeling, fragile, strong, and I am held. I am a traveler on a path that isn't always clear, but I'm guided. I am a voice, a light, a breath in this world. And I don't have to be loud to be meaningful. I just have to be present. Present with you. Present with myself. Present with this life I'm living. That doesn't mean everything is calm. Sometimes the storm rages on the outside, even when I've found peace within. But even in chaos, you are near. Even in disappointment, you stay. Even when things go differently than I hoped, your faithfulness doesn't falter. And I don't have to understand everything to believe that. I just have to stay open. So I'm opening again, right now, God. Opening to the possibility that this moment is sacred, even if it's messy. Opening to the chance that something beautiful could rise from the ordinary. Opening to the idea that grace doesn't wait for perfect timing. It shows up in the middle of my very real life. Thank you for showing up with me today, in every breath, in every pause, in every decision, in every smile I offer and receive. Thank you for being in the tension and the release, in the effort and the rest, in the silence and the conversation, in the shadow and the light. You're not a visitor to my day. You're not a guest in my schedule. You're the source, the center, the one I live from, not just talk to. And I want to keep living that way, not just in this moment of prayer, but in the way I answer the phone, the way I respond to frustration, the way I treat the person behind the counter, the way I treat myself when I fall short, the way I move through every unnoticed, unglamorous part of the day. Let it all be prayer. Let it all be sacred. Let it all be part of the love story you're writing in my life. I may not see how it all fits together yet, but I trust you're building something meaningful from it all. Not just the highlight moments, but the quiet in-betweens. The spaces like this, where I choose to sit in your presence, not to get something, but simply because I know I need you. And I know you delight in being here with me. What a comfort that is. What a miracle. I don't want to rush past it. I want to linger in this knowing, even as I keep moving through my day. God, we're coming to the close of this prayer, but not the close of our day, not the close of our walk together, because I don't just want to talk to you in the quiet. I want to carry this conversation through everything, through the next task, the next moment, the next decision, the next breath. I want this connection to follow me like a rhythm I can't forget, like a song in my spirit that won't fade. I want to remember, with every step I take, that I'm not walking alone. I never have been. Even when I felt abandoned, even when I didn't understand, even when the silence felt like absence, you were there, not watching from a distance, but beside me, patient, present, loving me when I couldn't love myself. And as I think back on my day, even just the hours that have passed so far, I see it now, little glimpses of grace I missed while they were happening. The moment I felt calm when I usually spiral, the kind word from someone unexpected, the solution that came when I finally stopped forcing it, the strength I didn't know I had until I needed it. These aren't accidents. These are signs of you with me. Signs that you don't abandon your children when things get hard. You draw closer. You step in. You carry what we cannot. And you don't ask us to have it all figured out. You just ask us to keep coming back, to keep choosing presence over performance, to keep believing, even when it feels like a whisper, that love holds us together when everything else feels shaky. So I'm letting this prayer stretch its arms across the rest of my day. I'm letting it guide how I speak to others, how I speak to myself, how I show up in moments of tension, how I respond when things don't go as planned, how I treat the parts of myself that still feel fragile. Because I don't want to undo this peace by rushing into anxiety. I don't want to trade connection for control. I want to live in a way that honors what you've planted in me, not just for my sake, but so others feel safe around me, so they know they don't have to perform either, so they know they're not alone. That if they're tired or scared or unsure, they can still show up. They can still be loved. God, remind me again that even small moments matter. The choice to pause before I react, the decision to forgive, even quietly, the courage to say what's true, the humility to admit when I'm wrong, the grace to try again. These are sacred. These are holy. These are the real battles of the soul, not the flashy achievements, but the everyday faithfulness. Help me honor that. Help me find joy in the ordinary. Help me see the sacred in the details. Help me keep showing up as I am, knowing that's enough. Not because I've earned it, not because I'm always right, but because your love covers me. Your grace is enough. Your presence is my strength. And as I wrap this prayer, I don't want to say goodbye. I want to say, let's keep walking. I want to say, stay near. I want to say, help me remember, because I know I'll need to. I know life will keep moving. Distractions will come. Stress will creep in. But if I can keep turning my heart back toward you, then no moment is ever wasted. No day is ever lost. No step is ever taken in vain. Even when I stumble, you're there. Even when I fall, you don't shame me. You lift me, you restore me. You walk me forward again. So let this prayer live on, not just in these words, but in the way I live today. Let it be the whisper in the background, the warmth in my chest, the steady truth beneath every thought that I am never alone, that you are with me, that every step is sacred when I walk with you. God, as I move deeper into this day, I feel this gentle tug on my heart, not a command, not a demand, but an invitation to stay aware, to keep my spirit soft, to remain in step with you, because I know how easy it is to start strong and lose sight, to pray in the morning and forget by lunch, to begin with you and then get pulled in all directions until I'm dizzy, drained, disconnected. But I don't want that. I want to stay close, even in the middle of the noise. I want to walk with you, not just think about you. I want to feel your presence, not just in the quiet, but in the chaos, not just in the prayer, but in the process. So help me stay open, not wide open to everything, but open to you, open to kindness, open to wisdom, open to letting go of what I don't need to carry, because sometimes the heaviness isn't from what I'm doing, but from what I'm holding inside, the overthinking, the second guessing, the pressure to be perfect, the fear of not doing enough. It builds up, layer by layer, until even the lightest task feels unbearable. And when that happens, I can't always tell what's real and what's just fear dressed up as logic. I start saying yes when I mean no. I start pushing myself to meet expectations no one actually set. I start spinning my wheels, hoping movement will equal peace. But it doesn't. Only you bring peace. Not when everything is done, not when everyone's pleased, but right in the middle, when I pause and return to you. So I'm pausing now. I'm exhaling what I've been holding. I'm setting down the invisible burdens. I'm turning toward you, not with fancy words or grand gestures, but with this simple longing. Be near. Be with me in every step, in every conversation, in every decision, in every, I don't know, in every quiet disappointment, in every unexpected joy, in the steady rhythm of work, in the background hum of life, in the details no one else sees. That's where I need you the most. Not just in emergencies, but in the everyday. Not just when I'm broken, but when I'm bored. Not just when I'm praying, but when I'm washing dishes, checking emails, driving, waiting in line, showing up again and again. Because it's there, in the repetition, in the ordinary, that so much of life is lived, and I don't want to sleepwalk through it. I don't want to miss the beauty, because I'm too busy trying to be productive. I don't want to look back and realize I wasn't really present. So teach me, God. Teach me to live this hour fully, not anxiously, not reactively, not perfectly, just fully. Teach me to breathe in your grace and breathe out stress. Teach me to stay grounded in truth when the world tries to sweep me into urgency. Teach me to find joy that isn't loud, but lasts. The kind of joy that lives deep in my bones and doesn't need to be explained or defended. The kind of joy that holds space for sadness too, and doesn't pretend everything's okay when it's not, but still believes goodness is possible. That's what I want, God. Not a day without trouble, but a heart that knows where to turn. Not a life without pain, but a spirit that heals instead of hardens. Not perfection, but peace. And I believe that kind of peace comes from staying with you, from returning to you again and again, from trusting that you're not disappointed when I forget, but delighted when I remember. So here I am, remembering again. Here I am, choosing again. Here I am, opening again. God, as I step deeper into this day, I can feel the subtle pull to disconnect, not out of rebellion, not because I've forgotten you, but because life gets noisy. People need things. My attention is pulled in 5 directions at once. The texts come in. The schedule tightens. The expectations pile up. And slowly, almost without realizing it, I shift from presence to pressure, from connection to coping, from breathing to bracing. But I don't want to live braced. I don't want to walk through this day with clenched hands and a tired heart. I want to stay open, soft, aware, even if it means I have to pause more often, even if it means I disappoint someone by saying no, even if it means I feel the ache of honesty instead of the numbness of overfunctioning. I want to stay close to you, God, because when I'm close to you, I remember who I am. I remember what matters. I remember how to love well without losing myself. So I'm asking for help again. Help me to notice when I begin to disconnect. Help me to return gently, without shame. Help me to be patient with my own relearning, because it's not natural for me yet. It's not easy to stay open when stress rises. It's not easy to stay calm when others are not. It's not easy to keep choosing presence when performance would feel safer. But I believe this practice matters. I believe that my soul was made for more than the survival mode life that's become so normal in this world. I believe you're teaching me a new way, a slower way, a more honest way, a kinder way, and I want to keep saying yes to that, even when it's hard, even when I feel behind, even when the old patterns call me back into striving. I've lived enough days disconnected from my own heart to know what it costs. It costs joy, it costs peace, it costs relationships. And even though I used to think I was protecting myself by staying busy or guarded, I now know that intimacy with myself, with others, and with you only grows when I stay present. So let this be a day of deep connection, not forced, not performative, just real, quiet, grounded. Whether I'm working or resting, or laughing, or grieving, let it all be held in your love. Let it all be part of this conversation between my soul and yours. I don't want to live with divided parts. I want to bring my whole self into this day, even the messy parts, even the doubts, even the uncertainty, because I believe you're not waiting for a more polished version of me. You're walking with the real me, right here, right now. Let that truth settle into my bones. Let it be the lens I see others through to. Everyone I encounter today is carrying something. Some are hurting and don't know how to ask for help. Some are afraid and mask it with anger. Some are trying their best but feel invisible. Help me see past the surface. Help me meet people with curiosity instead of judgment, with softness instead of suspicion, with generosity instead of defensiveness. That doesn't mean I lose boundaries. It just means I stay rooted in love. It means I listen before I assume. It means I speak truth with compassion. It means I forgive quickly. It means I ask questions before offering answers. It means I slow down enough to see the image of God in every face, including mine, because that's where this prayer always leads me. Back to love, back to that deep center where I know I'm not alone, where I know I'm not a burden, where I know I'm not failing just because I feel tired or uncertain or quiet. I am growing. I am becoming. I am waking up to life in a deeper way, and it's not always comfortable, but it is worth it, because with every small choice to stay open, to stay grounded, to stay connected, I'm becoming the kind of person I've longed to be, whole, at peace, rooted, loving, real. God, as the day stretches ahead, I'm reminded that this journey I'm on is not about speed. It's not about getting everything right or getting there faster than someone else. It's about faithfulness in each small choice. It's about grace when I stumble. It's about awareness that you are walking beside me, not rushing me, not measuring my worth by milestones, but loving me fully in the middle of my process. That's something I forget too easily. I compare, I evaluate, I measure my life against highlight reels, and imagined, and when I do, I start to shrink. I second guess myself. I hesitate. I hold back, and all the while, you're there, calling me back into presence, back into purpose, not the pressured kind, but the kind that flows from knowing I'm not here by accident, that I woke up today for a reason, that even the parts of my story I wouldn't have chosen are being shaped into something meaningful, that you waste nothing. So instead of rushing through today to prove something, help me slow down to remember what's true. Help me see what I've already come through. Help me honor the quiet courage it's taken to get this far. Because there are things I've survived that no one clapped for. There are mornings I showed up when I didn't think I could. There are decisions I made in silence that were acts of bravery no one saw. And you've been present for all of it. You've been the quiet strength under my breath, the peace that came without explanation, the hope that whispered, "You're not done yet." And I'm not. I'm still here, still growing, still learning, still reaching, still loving, still trying, still healing, still believing there's more good ahead. And for that, I'm grateful. Help me carry that gratitude into the rest of this day, not in loud declarations, but in small, sacred choices, in how I speak gently when I want to snap, in how I pause before reacting, in how I listen with presence instead of preparing a reply, in how I honor my limits without guilt, in how I return to stillness when my thoughts race. These are the quiet places where transformation lives. These are the steps that shape who I'm becoming, and I don't want to miss them because I'm too focused on what's next. I want to live this moment fully. I want to show up with my whole heart, even if it's tender. I want to move through this day, not just to get through it, but to be fully in it, because you're here. And if you're here, then this moment matters. Even the frustrating ones, even the confusing ones, even the disappointing ones, they all carry seeds of growth. They all carry the invitation to choose trust instead of fear. And that's not always easy. Sometimes fear feels more familiar, more comfortable. But comfort isn't the same as peace. Fear keeps me small. Peace frees me to live open. So God, when fear rises today, meet it with peace. When worry tries to take the lead, remind me I don't have to follow it. When the old narratives return about not being good enough, about being too late, about messing things up, speak louder than those lies. Speak love, speak truth, speak steadiness, because I can't always silence those voices on my own. But with you beside me, I can choose not to believe them. I can let them pass. I can choose again and again to trust the voice that says, "You are seen, you are safe, you are still on time." I need that voice today. I need your closeness, not just in the crises, but in the little in-betweens. When I'm doing dishes, when I'm in traffic, when I'm waiting for a reply, when I'm trying to focus but keep getting distracted, when the afternoon hits and my energy drops, when I want to quit early, when I feel invisible, when I wonder if anything I do really matters, be with me there. Be the steady hand on my back, the soft whisper of encouragement, the quiet knowing that I don't have to earn love or approval. I already have yours, and it's enough to carry me through. God, sometimes it's not the loud problems that weigh me down, but the quiet build-up of all the little things. The unanswered emails, the awkward conversation I replay in my mind, the appointment I keep rescheduling, the tension I feel with someone but can't name, the things I didn't do yesterday that now spill over into today. And even though none of these feel huge, together they add up. They chip away at my peace. They make me feel like I'm already behind. So before I let that feeling take over this morning, I'm choosing to stop here with you. I'm choosing to breathe, to name the weight, not carry it in silence. Because I've done that too many times before. Pushed through, stayed quiet, told myself it's fine when it wasn't. And you've never asked me to live that way. You've never shamed me for needing help. You've never rolled your eyes at my emotions or brushed past my overwhelm. You pause with me. You hold space for the things I don't know how to explain. And when I come to you not with eloquence, but exhaustion, you still meet me. That's who you are. Steady when I'm spinning. Safe when I feel fragile. So in this moment, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to say all the right things. I just want to be with you. I just want to feel held. I want to know that even if I don't cross off half my to-do list today, I'm still enough. Even if I say the wrong thing or forget the important one, I'm still loved. Even if I take longer than others to heal or to grow, I'm still making progress. Let me live from that place, that rooted, quiet place inside me where I don't have to perform. Let me make choices from there. Let me speak from there. Let me work from there. Let me rest from there. Because when I do, I notice the day differently. I'm more gentle with others, more compassionate with myself, less reactive, more responsive, less rushed, more present. And that presence, it's powerful. Even if no one else notices it, you do. And you remind me that presence is more important than performance. That peace is more powerful than productivity. That love, real, steady, grounded love, will always go further than hustle. So I surrender the idea that I have to be on all day. I surrender the internal pressure to fix everyone's mood. I surrender the lie that if I rest, I'll fall behind. And I choose to trust you instead. I choose to believe you're already in the parts of this day I'm worried about, already working in the hearts I'm praying for, already present in the situations I don't know how to navigate. That doesn't mean I won't care. It means I won't carry it alone. It means I'll walk forward without gripping everything so tight. And maybe that's what peace really is. Not the absence of challenge, but the presence of a deeper trust. The awareness that I am not doing life by myself. That even in the quietest steps, I'm accompanied. Even in the invisible moments, I'm supported. Even in the parts of today that feel like nothing, you are doing something. You are forming patience, teaching resilience, building hope, and helping me grow into someone who doesn't need chaos to feel important, who doesn't need applause to feel worthy, who doesn't need certainty to walk with confidence. That's who I want to be. And I know it doesn't happen all at once. I know it takes days like this, quiet, unseen, imperfect days where I choose to trust anyway. So today, I choose to believe that something good is happening, even if I can't measure it. I choose to believe that being faithful in the little things matters. That pausing to breathe is not a waste of time. That sitting in your presence is doing something, even if the world says I should be doing more. I choose to believe that your nearness is enough for me right now. And from that nearness, I will rise. Not in a rush, not in fear, but with a quiet strength that is not shaken by what goes wrong, because you're walking with me in every step, and that changes how I move through the world. God, I want to move through this day with a heart that's not afraid to feel again. I want to live it with openness, not guardedness. I want to greet people with kindness, not because I'm trying to perform or please them, but because I know what it feels like to need kindness and not get it. I know what it feels like to carry unspoken pain and still try to smile. And I know I'm not the only one walking into this day carrying quiet battles. That's why I ask you not only to walk with me, but to help me walk with compassion toward others too. Let me see past what people present. Let me notice what's underneath. Let me be the kind of presence that doesn't rush past someone's pain just because I'm focused on my own. But also, God, let me not abandon myself to care for others. Let me hold both empathy for them and gentleness for me, because you never ask me to disappear so someone else can feel seen. You teach me how to show up for others without leaving myself behind. And today, I want to live in that balance. I want to be steady enough to offer peace, but honest enough to receive it too. I know there will be moments today when I feel off-center, when someone's comment catches me in a tender place, when I feel left out or overlooked, when I try hard and it doesn't go the way I hoped, or when I just feel low and I can't explain why. In those moments, remind me, I'm allowed to pause. I'm allowed to not be okay. I'm allowed to regroup and breathe and bring it all to you again and again. That's the rhythm I want for today. Not one of perfection and hustle and push, but one of presence and grace and return. Returning to you, returning to peace, returning to the truth that even if I feel behind, I'm still held. Even if I don't finish everything, I'm still loved. Even if I mess up, you are not disappointed in me. That's hard to believe sometimes. So much in this world is tied to performance, and I've lived so many years believing my value came from how much I could do, how well I could hold it together, how quietly I could carry the hard things. But I'm unlearning that now. I'm learning to trust a deeper truth, that I am valuable because I exist, because you made me, because I'm here, and that's enough. Help me hold on to that truth when shame creeps in. When I start rehearsing old failures, when I feel like I'm too much or not enough, when I worry I've said the wrong thing or missed a moment or disappointed someone I care about. Help me not spiral. Help me not sink into the what-ifs or the should-haves. Help me look up instead of down, forward instead of back, within instead of only around. And when the voices get loud, the inner critic, the outside pressure, the unrealistic expectations, be the still small voice that grounds me again. Speak to me with tenderness. Tell me I'm safe. Tell me I'm not failing just because it feels hard. Tell me you're proud of how far I've come, even if no one else sees it. Because I need that kind of love. Not just encouragement to keep going, but gentle truth that says, you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to prove your worth. You can just be, and I'll be right here. That's what I want more than anything today, to know you're right here, not waiting for me to get through it, and then check in, but present, now, in every breath, in every small decision, in every silent tear, in every act of showing up when it would be easier to hide. I know I won't do today perfectly. I'll forget things. I'll make mistakes. I'll lose my peace and find it again, and that's okay. That's human. That's normal. That's not failure. It's growth. So instead of trying to control everything, help me let go. Help me surrender, not in defeat, but in trust. Not because I'm giving up, but because I'm leaning in. Because I believe there is goodness to be found in this day, even if it's hidden, even if it's small, even if it's quiet. God, I woke up today not to conquer the world, but to keep going, to take the next right step, to do the best I can with what I have, and to not be alone in any of it. I don't need this day to be perfect. I don't need every part of it to go right. I just need to feel your closeness as I go. Because even though I may be walking into routines and spaces that are familiar, the way I carry myself today feels more fragile. And you know exactly, maybe I've been holding back tears, or maybe I've been holding in too many responsibilities, or maybe it's the quiet ache of disappointment that no one knows about. And it all adds up. It builds weight. I try to carry quietly. I try to move through like I've got it handled. But today, I don't want to pretend. I don't want to push through like I'm okay when I'm barely hanging on. I want to move honestly with you. I want to carry the weight with your help. I want to walk slower if I need to and not feel shame about it. I want to say, this is hard, and not feel weak. I want to feel seen, even if I don't have words to explain why I feel what I feel. There's something so sacred about knowing you're with me in the steps that don't feel brave. When I'm doing things I've done 100 times before, checking emails, cleaning, commuting, caring for others, but it still feels like too much today. Thank you for not needing me to impress you. Thank you for not needing me to show up with more strength than I actually have. Thank you for simply walking with me, for sitting with me when I pause, for whispering peace when the thoughts spiral, for reminding me that I don't need to carry the full future today. Just this moment, just this breath, just this next step. And that's enough. I keep thinking I should be stronger by now, or more motivated, or further along. But maybe strength isn't what I thought it was. Maybe it's not about powering through. Maybe it's about leaning in, slowing down, being present enough to hear you when you whisper, "You're okay, I'm here." So be with me in the step I'm dreading, in the meeting I feel nervous about, in the decision I still don't have clarity on. Be with me when I feel tempted to compare, or when I start wondering if I'm enough again. Be with me in the interactions that feel draining, in the spaces where I don't feel fully myself, in the places where I give more than I get, and also be with me in the moments I forget to invite you in. When I get caught up in the busyness, when I fall into old patterns, when I numb instead of notice. Don't let my distractions make me think you've gone silent. Don't let my pace convince me I've outwalked your presence. Bring me back to stillness again and again, to the reminder that you are not only in the big moments, you are in the quiet ones, the slow ones, the invisible ones. And I don't need a spiritual breakthrough to be loved. I just need to be honest with where I am. That's what I'm doing now. I'm being honest. God, I'm tired, but I'm still here. I'm unsure, but I'm still showing up. I'm messy, but I'm still choosing love. And that counts for something. That counts for everything. Help me stop minimizing the courage it takes just to be here. Help me celebrate progress, not perfection. Help me see that faith can look like continuing to walk when I don't have all the answers. Help me live today with an open heart, even if it's been bruised. Help me respond with gentleness, even if I'm carrying grief. Help me be present, even if I'm afraid of what the moment might bring. Because when you're walking with me, I don't need to have it all together. I don't need to have a 5-year plan. I don't need to know how it all ends. I just need to keep moving with trust, with grace, and with you beside me.